My name is Kristen Arowitz. I'm being joined by Chris McHale today, as always. And let's get started here. Okay, great. So I've just got the demo site pulled up here. I am going to make a quick change really quick to the Homepages app. I basically just want to kind of show you guys what your site is going to look like when it's delivered to you. So when you folks have first, when you guys have first signed up with EasyAgentPro, we deliver to you a site. It's very basic looking, and that particular template is going to be this one. I'm just going to go ahead and change that real quick and get this opened up. So chances are, if you're on with EasyAgentPro, you've got something that looks a little bit like this when you first start. The header is probably going to look a little bit different, but you're going to have this really kind of basic homepage layout. Now, this is a really fantastic layout. It's very basic. It's got search capabilities that are right at the top. Nice big hero image here. Lots of really great kind of sketched out CTAs and calls to action as we go down the page. Very, very good basic site. So it's a really great, starting point for you guys, with your business. So this is a good example of, kind of like a little branding snafu that happens from time to time. Your logo may have certain colors in it. If you're a KW agent, you probably have that KW red. If you're with Remax, you got that red and blue. If you have just, say your own family business of some kind, you probably have another set of colors. When you first upload your logo, you might find that there's going to be something that works, not quite so well, and something that works a little bit better depending on, what exact, colors that you're using here. So something that is super easy to change using the homepage templates and the settings on site are just the colors that are available on your site. So you got your logo loaded up here, and I'm actually going to change one more little app thing here. And just kind of by way of explanation, what I'm trying to do with the site right now is present it to you exactly as it is when it's delivered. And then I'll show you exactly how easy it is to change things thereafter. So let's see here. I think that this is classic 2. Yeah, let's use this one. Super classic. Go ahead and reload again. Awesome. So as you can see here, we've got that, this is basically what you're going to be looking at in terms of a header menu and homepage. You're going to see here that we've got kind of a funky looking logo now. When you guys first upload your logo to LeadSites, you might see something similar to this. And the reason for that is that most likely what your media library. So basically what I'm trying to illustrate here is that we've got kind of a funky looking logo right now. Now, a really kind of good thing to keep in mind with branding and site design and all that good stuff is that you want to have a very impactful, meaningful logo that's really easy to read right off the bat. So you might have sent us the file and it has like a lot of white space around it, say negative space, might not be, kind of cropped close enough, so you might be looking at something like this. Now, we can definitely change that up. We can use different header layouts, to alter and otherwise adjust that. But it's probably just as good that we would actually just dive into the settings section and take a look at your logo. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go to settings.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
It looks like they're having some issues hearing you. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not having your sound crystal clear to me, but it might be because I'm hooked into the actual class here. Can you guys hear me better by chance?
Audio is out. Looks like maybe nobody can hear you either.
I know. I wonder what's
interesting. Hey, can you guys hear me now? Okay, they just say can't hear you.
It's back.
Okay, Eric says it's back. Okay, good. Great.
Yeah, so it seems like it's just their connection. So if they
okay, cool. Yeah, it might just be your local connection. Maybe it's too cold.
Also, this will be recorded, folks, so you guys will have it, you ladies and gentlemen will have it attached to the YouTube channel, and it'll come out tomorrow as well.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, great. It looks like everybody's back. Okay, super sorry about that, guys. I was just talking about logos on the site and, kind of good practices, for what your logo should look like. So kind of getting back to the example that we have here. So we have this one, SacramentoHomefinder.com. Not a great logo. I mean, if that's your business name, that's a good place to start. But because it's all in a single line here, you're going to kind of see that it might be shrunk a little bit in terms of, you know, the space that it can occupy. So maybe, though, if we read Sacramento and then homefinder.com underneath it as a second line, that would be a bit better use of the space that would be on the website. Now, you're going to see the difference in these two things. So if we go here, we're going to see that we have Sacramento Home Finder as our logo here, but let me just go ahead and switch that to the EAP Home one. And this is that logo. So we're going to see that it is, you know, a pretty decent pixel size, you know, about 18 by 250. However, it is just all in a single line like that. So it's not exactly the best implementation of, you know, kind of that negative space to be using. If we can, I think that we probably just have the EAP logo in here somewhere. And you guys are going to see a couple other ones in here. These are just example ones. This is another one that you know, is a very attractive logo. Not a great use of space though. So as we can see here, and this might be a little small here. Maybe I can actually just pull it up at its individual URL. Yeah, so it looks great as a large size, but you're going to notice that there's this giant white space right here. Now, when this is shrunk down to being viewed on an iPad or a smartphone, I mean, that white space almost occupies as much room as the actual text itself. So you're going to want to keep that in mind when you're having your logo designed, or even if like you just want a particular logo to use on the site. Now, let's go back over here again. LeadSite settings, your Japan properties. This one is actually pretty good. So you're going to see that there's not a lot of negative space around the outsides or on the either on the interior as well. So I would say that's actually a really good logo. And then if we check out the EasyAgentPro logo, oh, here's some good ones too. Coldwell Banker West Shell, really classic. And then, oh, here's another good example of one. So a lot of folks have, and let me go ahead and open up the URL for this one too. So a lot of folks have logos like this. Paste. And this one is actually super small, but you're going to see that, you know, Intero Real Estate Services might be the name of the company. This as like a designer delivered file might look great. You know, you're going to be looking at it on your screen. It's going to be huge like this one. You're going to think it looks fabulous. As soon as you shrink it down for use on like a smartphone or even the header of the website, it's going to be really hard to read the real estate services portion of it. So, you know, this is more talking about good design elements than branding necessarily, but definitely something to keep in mind. You know, make sure that, you know, you might have a really slick version of the logo like this for like letterhead or something like that. But even if you just had a version of it that was just Intero, without trying to squeeze in real estate services into it, that would be a much better use for the actual header of your website and really any use on the website at all. And let me see, I think and then finally here we have the EAP Homes one. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply that one as the logo. So, and if we pop back out here, go ahead and refresh this. We're going to see here that that EAP Homes logo is taking up so much more room. So even though that image is the same size as the SacramentoHomefinder.com logo, it's just such a better use of the space that's presented. So definitely don't be afraid to, you know, if you're having your designer mock up some images for you, say, hey, I want to see what this looks like, you know, on an iPhone. I want to see what it looks like here and there. Because it's really easy to get excited about a big logo like this. But then as soon as you get that on the website, I mean, I'm just laughing about this. This giant white space here is going to be like all that is being occupied. It's going to be really hard to make it work. So definitely something to keep in mind, you know, when you're kind of pursuing that. So great. So yeah, I mean, and then you can dive into colors here. What I'm not going to do right now is design the website for us. I'm just going to show you an example of two sites that we have that have really good uniform branding so that you guys can see, you know, exactly what we mean when we say, you know, good uniform branding on the site. So first one I'm going to bring up here is a gentleman, Conrad, who is in the Pacific Northwest. Let me just go ahead and reload this here, so you can kind of see how that video works. And if you guys are interested in a video homepage like this, we actually just added a template that supports it. So just let this load up. So you're going to see that he just has his logo here as the buffer image. Super easy. And then it comes up here. So as you can see, he's got, I think, some really great branding, with the Call Conrad real estate experience. He's got his video background here. He's doing the same thing in all the videos. It's pretty goofy and fun. And I think it's a really, really good example of, just kind of like a uniform thing right off the bat. Like, you can tell this dude is happy. He's going to be really fun to work with. His logo says that. It's a little bit bright. It's a little bit bouncy. Might not work for you in your market, but for this gentleman, I think is a really, really solid experience. Then as we scroll down the page, you're going to see that, he's just got that kind of teal and that kind of royal blue throughout. So he's using that same blue for the menus and the text. This is a little bit hard to read, that royal blue on the dark background, but I think it still works. Uses the teal on the contact me button. And then as we go down here, you can see that it's all those kind of cool dark colors. So that still that blue here, talking about Canada. And then this is more typical homepage stuff. So all of these colors are super easy to set. You just go to the colors section and you set a main color and a link color for the site. And then from there, all of these colors are automatically kind of parsed out. So, and then as we go down, we can see that it's a little bit more, straightforward. He's got some good images here. Like, this just looks like a straight up Canadian image on the background here, kind of like a little kind of country area with a lake, more of like a cityscape on the riverfront. Not sure what particular city that is, but it's very apparent to folks that are visiting the site for the first time. I love Conrad's site. I think it's really great, and I think that kind of that big goofiness to it is super good in terms of a branding perspective. And you can see his logo is pretty great here too. So even though the real estate experience is kind of small in this section here, Call Conrad is still super big. It's really memorable with that caricature type logo as well, and I think it works super well. And kind of in contrast to that, we have another gentleman that is also on the West Coast, but this time in the U.S. And this is John Yaffe with the Yaffe Real Estate Group. And he services specifically a area, El Dorado Hills, in I believe it's the Bay Area. And one thing you're going to notice right off the bat is something that, so Yaffe here, kind of see that it's a little bit like what I was talking about before. Yaffe Real Estate Group with that Keller Williams next to it. I believe he had to add that KW logo next to it purely for a brokerage rule. So, that might be something that you guys are also dealing with too. HomeSmart, I think, for example, is one that requires their logo to be bigger than yours all over the site. So that's something to definitely keep in mind when you're talking about branding. So, so now just using the tools that are on site, John has built out a really great website here. So, El Dorado Hills is his focus. And the first thing you're going to notice is that El Dorado Hills is literally all over the site. So El Dorado Hills realestateagent.com. Some people might argue that's not really a great URL, but he's only focusing on El Dorado Hills, with his, area. I'm sure he helps out folks in surrounding communities as well, but he's really kind of trying to brand himself as the El Dorado Hills dude. So we've got El Dorado Hills here. Great use of that red throughout the site. This is like a little bit kind of contrasting this with Conrad's site here. Conrad's is all about that sold experience or that buying experience, super goofy and energetic. This is a little bit more professional. So this might fit a little bit better for you guys. So we got a little bio with his section to meet the team. Right under that, his listings, and then so on and so forth. So this is just all stuff that you can do using the Homepages app. But you can see this is a little bit cleaner, a little bit more, kind of focused. There's definitely that use of red throughout the site. That's probably driven more from the KW Keller Williams logo than mostly anything else here. But I think just a really good example of, just a super clean and neat site, that kind of has a clear focus. Now, what I think that he does that's really great is just kind of incorporating El Dorado Hills, throughout the site in a big way. You guys might not necessarily have like such a focused farming area as El Dorado Hills or something similar to it. but you can definitely incorporate, some language that will, kind of set you apart, so that it's not just like the stock, kind of go into the front end of the site here, just to work with us to find a home you love, et cetera, that kind of stuff. Now you can also change up the stock site in a super easy way with this really great integration that we have on the back end. That's very helpful for kind of design and site branding. Now, if I go to the Home Pages app here, and it's also going to help you get really great images like the ones that these guys have on their site. So for example, it actually looks like he doesn't have a template that uses any hero images, but for example, on Conrad's site, I think it's so funny, that goofy dance he does. Like this river image here, like this lake kind of mountain view. We have an integration with a service called Pixabay that allows you to get images onto the site automatically. So you guys might not have an image resource, you might not have enough money to pay a photographer for your area, but what we do offer you as part of your service is access to Pixabay, which is a stock image company. So say we wanted to change this hero image on the front page. We would just go into the Home Pages app, go to Settings here, and then we go to Photos and Videos, and then we're going to see where we can choose a primary and secondary image. So let's go ahead and replace this one. We're going to have a couple options here. So you're going to see your media library, of course, where you can upload images, all that good stuff. And then if you click Upload Files here, you're going to see a big green button for Pixabay images. Now, this is going to be in access to a ton of free images on your website. So, for example, let's just look up desert home. Let's say it's something, kind of New Mexico desert-like. And some of these might not be necessarily real estate focused, but like still really great images. Let's check. Let's grab this one. So all you do is you click on the image like that. It downloads it to your media library for you. You're going to see that it's already optimized, so it's already a good size and a good, good dimensions and a good size. So we're just going to go ahead and choose that, and then save that. So now this is super handy if you guys service a really particular market, like somewhere in a particular portion of Florida or on a coast or something along those lines, and you need to have images that are more congruent to your area. Pixabay is a really good solution for that. There's a lot of different images on display there. You can just search by keyword, and it's a really great way just to get things, a little bit less stock and a little bit more personalized and branded, for the real estate market that you're a part of. Now, we have been talking about the Home Pages app a little bit, and certainly if you go into templates here, you're going to find a bunch of templates. Now, folks don't know this generally, but the Home Pages app, we've kind of sorted these out by, type here. So we have like what we call our classic ones, which are very straightforward, kind of like what you get your site shipped with. More seller-focused ones. If you're an agent that wants to just be a seller's agent, and you want the site to be not necessarily about the IDX capabilities of the site, but rather just about yourself and what you can do for sellers, you can there's definitely a template for that kind of incorporates like a large hero image of yourself. You can see Tyler's smiling mug right there. And then of course we have other ones here. So this is that video modern template that we were talking about with the video in the background. There's a few other here that are a little bit lighter in tone, like this one here and this one. I think these are my favorite templates on the site. Call them our luxury one. Excuse me. There's like a dark mode and a light mode. So like these are both the same, except they're just, kind of binary. Like one's, kind of like if you guys use Mac or anything like that, like a dark mode style thing. And then the other one is just more like kind of lighter, airy colors. But those are perfect for those luxury markets where it's a little bit more high-end. Folks want to see those little design elements, that kind of good stuff. So, definitely check out the templates. If, you have your logo on there, you're getting site content built out, don't neglect that design portion of things, because that can be just as important in reeling leads in as, anything else on the site. So yeah, so that's just kind of a quick little, you know, a little rundown of some points that are easy to miss. You know, definitely make sure your logo is a good size. If you're having trouble with your logo and you don't think it looks really good on the site, contact support. Maybe there's a way that we can snip it, rearrange it, you know, do a little bit to help you. You know, but if there's one thing to take away from today, this logo, it looks great. Nobody can deny it looks great, but look how much of this is just negative space, completely unused. So, you know, that's not going to look that great on mobile. So just something to keep in mind, you know, as you guys are setting your site up, you know, utilizing the tools available to you and, you know, kind of taking a look at things. So, and again, if you ever want an example of sites that, you know, we think have good design elements at play, just contact support. We'll be more than happy to set something up for you.